surgery in 2016. She said, but it was still a matter. She got a trainer, started working out in the gym. So far, in 2016, that's when she started. She lost 40 pounds from the surgery and working out. So, yeah. She said she had to make her mind up because she started gaining weight after the surgery. And when she made her mind up, off the pounds, they went. It was so awesome. You could do it too, Mom. You could do it too, Mom. They'll be motivated now. They'll be motivated. They'll see them like, oh, wow. My mama looks younger and better than me. Let me do something. Let me get my life together. Yeah. Yeah. Choose one. But see, that's when like, people like let me just say like me and Jonathan. We're not gonna sit here and cook two meats, three, two starches. We might have a variety. We might add more than one vegetable. We're not gonna add more than one protein or starch. Who did? Yeah, he talked about how he had to lose weight too. And Brown, Brown, he always said that Santa Claus will.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Good morning. Today, of course, it's NFP day. I'm looking at this UCAD and oil trade. Go ahead and clear this chart off so you guys can see it a little better, and we go over what I see here. All right. This here is the 5 minute chart, but we're not going to start there. We're going to start up here on the daily. All right. And I actually believe we could come down into this area or even down in here actually on this UCAT. But let's just go ahead and, matter of fact, we'll leave it in midair as we go through the analysis, and then we'll achieve our TP. We'll locate our TP together. All right, so first things first. Here, looking at the daily, we can clearly see we rallied up for the past 1, 2, 3 months, really all year. Since the 1st of January 2020, we've been headed straight up here on the bullish UCAT. So, therefore, just in my expectations with the outbreak and the change of economy globally, uh, that's going to change. Okay, that's just a simple gist of what I'm looking at here. Plus, I see this gap, and it's been really appealing to me for the past 2 weeks. Okay, right in there. All right, so we got that done. Now we can easily draw a current trend line here. We can easily see that. Now from the top side, we can easily draw a trend line here. Okay, but I'm going to delete both of those because that is exactly what I use these for. Okay, so you see the trend line, you see the flat trend line. This trend line's invalid, as we of course can tell by just looking at it. All right, now so again, this is the daily. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna top off this daily with my horizontal line. Boom, we marked the peak. Okay, now from that peak, our next low would be here. So I'm actually going to use a trend line because I don't want to go all across the screen, but I'm going to locate the low and I'm going to drag it across. I'm actually going to make this a little thinner too, so it's not as thick. All right, now in order to make sure you are flat and even, what I like to do is I come in here, I copy the first measurement value, and I paste the second one, and I know I got a straight line there. All right, now we'll bump down to the the 4 hour. We go from the daily to the 4 hour. All right. Now you see I have another indicator on my screen that just indicates the pivots. This just indicates the pivots. I've traded NFP just like any other day. A lot of people get excited and oh, it's a bomb rush, but I trade it simply just like any other day. No panic, no emotion. All right. Now you can see that trend line here is clear. The top trend line is clear as day. Even if this indicator was not on there, we would still know that this is a valid trend. All right. Now, looking forward to where we are, we see we have just retested that trend line. Okay, we retested it here, completely rejected, here, rejected, here, rejected. Okay. Okay. The emotion must exit before you approach the markets. Just had somebody message me. They said, "Hey man, I'm worried about trading NFP. Look, just the emotion before you trade any day of the week, whether it's NFP or not. You gotta leave the emotions in the bed. All right. So moving forward, you see we are bumping that trend line there. Here we were rejected from the trend line. Here we are another retest. Look likely going to leave a wick because again, mind you, I'm still eyeing this gap down here. So at some point, overall market is trying to find its way back down there. So the market's already in my favor, trying to potentially push its way down into this gap. I already know that. Okay, I know the market is trying its hardest to get down in there. I forgot my RSI is black, so you can't see it. Let me make that white, and I keep it on close. All right. So I know that. I know it's trying its hardest to make it down there. So NFP coming up. Okay, I think that's going to be the nudge to do it. Now it's just my opinion. A lot of people might say, "Oh, that's not how you trade," but let's see how accurate it is. Okay. So here on the daily, we've identified the trend. We can easily see that this area here was previously support. All right. Now, here you see we dip down in it. Here we closed in it. We closed below it, below it, below it. So from the downside here on our current situation, we can draw a trend like this. All right. So now you can see we placed ourselves in a wedge. All right. And we got to break out one way or another. Okay. Considering the fact that the RSI pushed up here and we got slight seen a divergence. If you look right here, we have divergence on RSI both and price action. So that goes to show me we're not going back up here unless we're looking for a triple top or a breakout to the upside. I don't expect a breakout to the upside, so I'm selling it from this here for a breakout to the downside here. All right. Now that we have done that, let's pull out our Fibonacci. Okay, let me get this off. What I'm doing is I'm now removing all of these indicators. We don't need them. This is price action again. I only use indicators just for confirmation and to make my chart work easier. I already know what I'm looking for. All I need is the indicator just to confirm it, so I don't have to do any extra hardcore thinking. But I only use the indicators because I already understand the currency market. All right. So now just looking on the 4 hour chart. Okay, I've done my analysis on the higher time frame, so I already know what kind of situations I'm dealing with. Now for here, let's go ahead and highlight these two areas here, which is going to be the high. Again, just to make sure you got a straight line, you can copy and paste that in there. Then I'm gonna get the low here. Excuse me. All right, so we have an area of a range slightly right in here. We have trend line here. All right, pointing downwards. So I'm gonna leave that there. Now, so if you see what I'm looking at, we have somewhat of a clear picture of what we should be expecting for NFP. A lot of people say NFP is risky, but if you do your chart work and you have fundamental analysis, it's easy peasy. Okay. So now you see how we have situated ourselves in a wedge with a trend line that we are slightly being rejected from already. We're going to see this a little more clearer on a lower time frame. So let's bump down to the hour. Here on the hour, you see we do have those rejections up here. Boom. We have a trend line. Let's go ahead and make that trend line. We'll draw this trend line. Now, I don't really care for it to be direct or perfect because for the simple fact we're looking at price action anyway. So as long as you have it in the general direction, I do like to touch as many candle closes as possible though, regardless of the wicks. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 touches there. Now let's bump down to the 30 minutes. Here now we're on the 30 minutes, and we can clearly see how on this up move these highs started to stagger here. We have a lower high, actually a whole downtrend here, followed by another lower high, which is simply almost equal to this one, lower than the first one that established that trend. So now we can hit that right there. All right, notice how these two are actually both. Let me go in here. What I'm doing now is I'm changing the color of the previous high and low of the day, so we can see that. And I'll show you what I was actually about to point out, but this is gonna make it a little easier for you guys to see. All right, so you see how the yesterday's high, all these high of the days are hitting right here. Let's see. Let me show you what these look like on a daily. On the daily, these are all these wicks. Okay, now we're in a situation where now we can begin to analyze these smaller trends and swings in here. So we have a high, low, high, whole downtrend before we hide it back up. Then we have a low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high. All right. So now it's inevitable that we are coming back down here to reset this level. If we reset this level, we have already broken both of these trend lines. So I would expect us to just to continue down. Now, when I apply my Fibonacci, what I would do in this situation is I'm looking at the 30-minute chart. So I see a couple swings in here. So I'm going to start with just this one at the high of the day. All right. Come back down here. We're going to make this yellow. All right. So now with this trend here from this high to this low, we have an entry, retrace, TP1. Okay, you see I've entered in TP1. Let me show you why. Because if I remove that and put this in here, now I have my coordinates for the other in the other direction. Notice how this is the bottom of that range that we drew on the daily. Or let me go to the 4-hour. This is the bottom of that range. This is the trend line. Okay. So I'm now you're starting to see exactly what I'm seeing in advance. I can kind of foresee the market. It's kind of crazy because I've just been studying it for so long. Oh, it's really, 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 really crazy. Sometimes it blows my mind. But now you can see how the bottom of that zone falls on my TP6. This is a custom Fibonacci. This you guys should have it in the group. Look, and we have TP7. Now the gap finishes down here on TP9. All right. So now we have our TP. So I'm going to show you. Go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and take mine to TP6. But any of these TPs down here are valid as long as this price action still remains whole and solid. Here we have the 15-minute, 30-minute chart. Here we have the 15-minute chart. What's showing me that we should be falling away from the high with ease from this point is this simple price action here. That's trend pointing down. Now let's look at the 5 minute chart. This is what the 5 minute chart is beholds. Some people say you can do wick to wicks, and in the same candles, do that body to body. You get kind of a retrace, a zone, a trend zone. But I don't do that. But you can kind of see the zone right in there. And that is the USD CAD trade I am anticipating for NFP. Now, let me actually save this template. I use it for every NFP. All right. Now here in oil, remember we're long. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. We are long on oil. I actually hit my TP, but I did want to be in that. We'll put it up there. Drop my stop loss there. Not too worried about it retracing because I already know that I was expected to be long. Now, UCAD and oil are inverse pairs, so when UCAD typically falls, oil's typically going to be rising. Now, there are other fundamental factors that fall in line there, but that's the gist of it. Pretty simple. That's just how the correlations work. There are a lot of pairs that do correlate in the market, so you just got to get familiar with those. And as you do so, this trading will become so much easier. This is the dollar. We'll go over that later. All right, we know NFP is in exactly about 45 minutes. All right, so again, let's get back to it. Now, here on the oil, okay, here on oil, just at a quick glance, I could break this down in within 5 minutes or less. Here on the 1 hour chart, you see we have a low, retested that trend line low, creating a trend. And we have this huge spike up here. This happened actually yesterday, probably about 11, maybe 12 noon. Some of us caught it in the group. I caught it. I hope I mentioned it. I hope everybody else did. And I just took profit when it spiked up there because I knew NFP was going to be today. So it was simply just almost like bait that baited a lot of buyers in, then took it right back if they didn't take profit at that peak. Now it's going to move it right back to where it was going, even further beyond. So you really had to know that that was a pump fake to really take advantage of that pump fake. But it was definitely a great pump fake. Um, so now you see we're gonna definitely try to find our way with price back up into this area where this wick tipped off to actually close to see if price will be accepted. Yesterday it was a pump fake again, as I said, and today we're actually gonna see if it's gonna be accepted through that level, and that level is at 36. I believe we're going to go beyond, but let's get into the analysis and we'll definitely be able to get there. Here on the 4 hour chart, you can definitely see that we're still pushing upwards. Let me go check on this UCAD, what we got going on. Go to the hour. Let's watch the hour on the UCAD. Okay, there we go. Where we at? UK oil. Okay. So here we have the UK oil again, the 4 hour chart pushing up, but let's go higher than that. Let's go to the daily. Here on the daily, we have a beautiful gap here. This happened about last week, right when the coronavirus outbreak actually started. Oil dropped. I know a lot of you guys probably saw gas fall through the floor, and it was very, 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 very cheap. Right after the outbreak, gas got really, really, really cheap. That is why gas went from oil went from $62 a barrel to $25 a barrel. That is almost that's over 50% loss in value in just a couple of days. So when you think of how big the oil reserves are, that's hundreds of millions of dollars right there. All right, so now we're headed back upwards to reclaim that. At bare minimum, we'll be retesting this area. But you see, if we retest and close in this area, what's stopping it from closing this gap or even going further and beyond? We'll see if there's even potential for it to go further and beyond as we get down to the bottom of the analysis and where the exact entry is for this particular trade today. All right. Now, of course, the prime entry would have been actually yesterday to hold. But again, as I always mention, I don't like to hold trades overnight and pay that swap. So I just simply get in, find my new entry for the same directional bias as the trend is portraying on that previous day, next session. You know, I'm a session trader, so I'm not necessarily holding anything overnight. Now, when I say I'm not holding anything, I'm not actively holding any positions in the market. That does not mean I change my mind. Okay, a lot of, that doesn't just because I exit a trade does not mean I'm no longer uh, sticking to my bias on that particular trade. That's not what that means. That simply just means that I'm out of the trade. That's it. All right. So we look at the daily. Like I was saying, we had that huge gap. So there's really not too much we can analyze here other than that downwards trend. So if we come into the 4 hour, we can start to see a little more. We can see this double bottom. Well, actually, this is a triple bottom. One, two, three. So we're definitely pushing up, and we definitely should be coming back to reclaim this area in here, this zone. Now we're down on the hour chart, and here's what price action is delivering for us at the moment. All right, you see my stop loss is down here below the low of this previous hour. Oh, well, yeah, below this previous hour, it is at 32 flat. I'm actually gonna make it 32. I'm about to put it right here. So now let's bump it down to the 30 minutes. I'm on the hour. Okay, so now seeing this trend, boom, 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 boom. Let's go ahead and drop our Fibonacci. All right. So now you see we have my Fibonacci. Now, as you see, when drawing my Fibonacci, I do see that these entries here, new swing, flat, expert entry, conservative entry, are are already gone. But that doesn't mean I can't continue up. All right. Now, as I said, it could go beyond this gap. If we look here, look at our further TPs that fall in line with, for one, the top of this gap here at 44.79. So in all actuality, if I wanted to, I could take it here. Whether it hits this area today or over the next few days, I see where price is wanting to go. This area here, one, two, three, multiple highs with this wick poking right through, and now we're trying to reclaim that area. And I believe NFP is going to give it the push it needs to get there. Now back on the UCAD, here we go with UCAD. It's still falling. NFP is in 45 minutes now. 8:30. It's 7:47 Eastern AM. NFP is at 8:30 AM Eastern. So we got 45 minutes. So I'm just gonna let the charts run and you guys observe the trades that I just analyzed. And here's the dollar. As a matter of fact, so we're not quite done yet. Let's go ahead and break this bad boy down. Okay, here's the dollar. I can already tell you that the dollar's going to fall on this NFP day today. The reserve did lower the interest rates, but that will drive the dollar down. It did rebound due to that stimulus, but I believe it will continue downwards. Oil, UCAD, dollar. Now, for here on the 4 hour chart, as far as this dollar trend, I can see this situation there. But if you look at the beginning of this situation, that too is a gap. All right. All right. So we see this trend line, boom, boom, boom. Now, let me just show you what my Fibonacci would do. If I look at this previous swing high, go to this low right here, look at where price is right now. Dead on the money, right on my TP5. Okay, what does that tell me? That tells me either price is going to drop from here or show me continuation patterns. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the 1 hour chart. Here on the 1 hour chart, I can see that it's showing me a fall. So now I'm going to get rid of this Fibonacci because I no longer need it. It's completed its objective at TP5. So the bulls have seen their profit on TP5. For the past week, they've seen the dollar climb. We can all admit that because we've all been looking at it. If you're an active day trader, you've seen it. So we know that. You didn't need for me to tell you that, but you can clearly see that on your chart. So now let's remove this Fibonacci. Okay, we have a new Fibonacci area we can draw, and that's going to be from this new swing low up here to this swing high. Now, if I'm considering this to be the high, then I'm going to go ahead and put it right here. All right, now I have bearish directives for the market. Okay, we've identified our new swing, we've identified our sniper entry, we've identified our pending orders, stop loss. We're not going to trade the dollar, so we're just going to use this for directional bias. This is showing me that likely when NFP forms, we might get a spike up into these areas and then a fall down here towards RTPs. Now, if we come in here and look at the daily, this is what we'd be looking at. So if this did decide to fall, we'd be looking at something like that. All right. So I'm gonna leave that there, and we're gonna put that there, and let's go ahead and put our Fibonacci on this bad boy, and there. All right. Let's see what we do. I'm gonna come into a lower time frame here on the dollar, so you can actually see what price action is doing in real time. All right, I'm just finna roll up and I'll be right back. NFP's gonna be exciting. Let's get money. Even though I've been woke, we gonna wake and bake first. Been woke. Yeah, you talking about? Yeah, you talking about nigga been woke? I be talking to myself sometimes. All right, today we have some very, very, very fresh Bubba Kush. And when I say fresh, I mean this is fresh. Maybe about a week off the plant, maybe less. Finna go check my Facebook message. If anybody is not in the price action group on Facebook, I would check it out. Oh, let's see. Everybody always comments on my stuff. That's me being trigger happy. I'm trading binary options too. All right, back to what I was doing. right, let's go take a look at CAD. We're actually going to take a look at Pound USD, Euro USD, USD CHF, and USD JPY as well in just a second. Looking at the 5 minute chart of UCAD. Now let's review this 5 minute chart. We have an uptrend here. At the base of this uptrend, or the support level that supported this uptrend being here. All right, now let me zoom in so you guys can see this a little better. All right, got my 5 minute little zone for that supportive area. Now for here, supportive area would have been slightly something right here. Now what I've done is the base is at these bounces. Notice how I'm drawing a zone across that whole candle, that whole last bearish candle here. Same thing here. And draw it across. That is a zone for me. Here, as we look here on the UCAD, we see a zone here. Now, if I draw my trend line from here to here, almost like it looks like a little fan. We got bam, 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 bam. This trend line broken. Now, let's draw that trend line from the top side. Here we have it here. Now, if you want to make sure you got more than 1 to 2 touches on that trend line, you would draw it here. But as you see, you still get those multiple touches. And again, this is the 5 minute chart. So if I go to the 1 minute chart, this is what we're looking at. But we're going to stay on the 5 for now. So now we're at that zone level. Now, if we use that zone level here, then we would simply be using this area right in there. Okay, so from this point on, we shall see the decline of the USD CAD. Point blank simple. Oil, we see that breakout. We are already getting money there. As we analyzed, we're headed to TP3 for definitely yesterday's high for sure. All right, now let's bring USD CHF into the mix. Now we got USD CHF in the mix. I know if anybody knows me right off the bat, we're looking at an M being formed. I expect this candle to even farther than that, but that's just easy money. That's just eyeballing the work. All right, so let's come in here and break it down. Here on the daily, we can easily see that. Let's just connect these trend lines. We have one there. We're not going to use that one, but let's use this previous one, here to here. All right. We have a couple entries identified. We have here, well, not entries, in my bad. These are not entries. These are zones that we need to draw for the uptrend. Okay. Remember, I told you it almost sometimes looks like a fan. I'm sure you catch it. Okay. All right. You see now it looks like a fan. So for our zones, we really just have the one because both of them met in the same point. So now let's go to the 4 hour. All right, so yeah, 4 hour chart. We have one zone here broken down. So let's go in a little deeper into it. Let's go to the 30-minute chart. Here on the 30-minute chart, there's that little M that I was pointing out. Now, with NFP, a lot of times, what you sometimes may get is a spike and then a retrace. Like I'm not talking about like a spike up past the weekly high or low, and then a fall. Right now, this is the weekly high. Today's high is the weekly high, the high that it already formed this morning. We have about what 15 minutes before NFP strikes. Oh well, yeah, and what I was saying, a lot of times you get a spike and then a retrace, like a huge spike past the weekly high or low, and then a pullback, or you'll get straight bounce off the high or low. Notice how my stops are no different than they are on a normal day. They're real tight because I'd rather get taken out and then re-snipe the best entry. Because when NFP moves, it moves. So let's check on our. Here we got our UCAD trade. And we have our oil trade. Oil's already paying out. And man, I love it. And my advice to NFP is just to low risk. If you want to do a high risk, spread it out against across multiple accounts. Like I always say, I trade one account, which is this one logged into my MT4, and it's connected to 8 other accounts. So I don't even have to see what the other accounts are doing. I have them manually set at $1 lot. So anything I trade on here, I only trade pennies on this account. But it duplicates across 8 different accounts that are all trading standard lots. The pennies help eliminate your emotion in all of that. I promise. Promise, promise. So it's 3:15. We have NFP in 15 minutes. I'm sorry, 5:15, 8:15 Eastern. I'm Pacific time. I'm sorry. Let's go to a lower time frame so I can see this. Ah, shit. Hold on. You get oil, USD CHF. NFP in 10 minutes. Now, I do want to urge everybody to not be hesitant to take profit, even if it's 10 seconds. Even if it only takes 10 seconds after NFP takes off, because it moves fast. I expect this to be one of the volatile, most biggest NFPs we've seen in a while, considering the global pandemic that's going on and the numbers that were released. Because I do expect those spikes and then pullbacks. For example, on the weekly, I do expect a huge drop here on the USD CHF, but then at the same time, once it hits that point, I expect it to turn around. So if it touches that point with the NFP spike, then that's also where it's going to turn around. So let's watch it. We might be able to catch it both ways, but I will be trigger ready to take profit. Just FYI, don't hesitate. Let's go to UCAD. What we doing, UCAD? Stop loss and profit. We're getting closer to NFP, so put your stop losses in profit if you are in profit. All right, here's. I really want this UCAT. I want to see it real. I want to see some real good action here on this UCAT. All right. You see this candle right here? That just confirmed it for me. See this candle right here? This slight difference in price, close and opening, just sealed the deal for me. of our trades should be eating up the profit right now, especially UCAD. What we got? What we got? 5 minutes to NFP. Let's look at some of this 1 minute chart action as we get closer and closer. That also sometimes is a day giveaway. Once you have your analysis, I like to look at the 1 minute chart. You can USDCFF. I think I got a trade in on. Yeah, yep, I got a couple here. This is my pound USD. As you see, I got multiple entries down there. Stuff that guy. Here's my. Now, also, okay, you can also put trailing stops on your trades. I like to do it minimum of 200. That's basically 20 pips. So 250 would be 25. I'm gonna go ahead and take profit on. No, I'm gonna hold that. Here's USD CHF. Put that stop loss in there. Take profit on two of these. I'm gonna hold this one, but I am gonna put a trailing stop on it. For pound moves a lot more pips. So I'm gonna put a 30 pip, 300 point stop on that one. And now, as you see, my stop loss is moving with my price. Oil, I held that, left that in there. Pound, that one's running. UCAD's running. Oil's running. What else we got? I think we got a UJ. Yeah, we got some UJ. These are trades that I've already entered, guys. I'm just expecting NFP to cash them out. I'm gonna go ahead and put my trailing stop on all of them though, because mind you, there's more than pennies on my other account that it is capping to. So I must protect the risk. I believe that is all of them. Pounds, JPY, USD, UCAD, oil. Let's get money. NFP is not random. Fuck what they be talking about. Now let's sit back and spark up the weed, man. Smoke the egg. Smoke that ganja. Ganja. Look at that. Look at that. And let's watch this. I don't know magic, but I sure do it on the charts. I'm gonna go ahead and drop some TPs because hell, I don't really care what as long as it's profit, it's profit. So let's cut it right there, right there. Yesterday's low. Put another one down in there. Oops. Put that right there. Pound USD CHF. Let's put our stop losses in ETC. And then well, that one's already in. Oil. Kind of want to just let oil run. UCAD, I just want to let that run too. So stop losses and TPs in place. Every single trade we just analyzed right now is in profit if you took proper entries. And now NFP is in 60 seconds. Don't worry about entering it now. Oh yes, it's gone. You see, it just went all the way through the roof. It ain't gonna stop it. This is what I do. Can't stand folks say NFP's random. No the fuck it's not. I trade it every day, every month. All right, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to take profit at your will. See what this pound USD CHF doing over here, man, playing games with us. It is now 8:30 on the dot. Let's look at a 5-minute chart. I like to look at, I say the 5-minute chart because it's a smaller time frame and you see like a real good real time movement. I mean, easy peasy. Let's get money. This shit finna sweep the market. That USD JPY was a real good one. Only one I really want to satisfy me. I took some binary options trades on it. I really want this UCAD to satisfy me. So come on with it. And I'm actually going to go ahead and take some of these trades off that are in profit. Make sure you guys have real tight stops so you're able to adjust. Because we'll really see the volatility kick in at the end of the 15-minute candle preceding NFP. Here we go, for example. Oh, put that up here before they knock me out, and I don't want to be out. But you want this? Let me go ahead and take my re-entries here soon. The spread right now is ridiculous. Nowhere should have caught me up there, but it did, which is really weird. But that just is another confirmation from me that it's gonna rocket ship. This can this oil. Huge paydays for us. I'm actually gonna put another sell here on UCAD and another buy on oil. So I added another buy on oil and another buy on UCAD. I entered two more positions on pound USD, and let me go ahead and take some binary trades over here. All right, so as you see, the trades we're in are now really starting to generate some profits, some real good, nice profits for us. So as you see, my new entry on UCAD is in profit. My new entry on oil is dancing in profit, tiptoeing. The news was just released. I just got the notification here on my phone. So we'll see the shift happen at this the turn of this 15-minute candle. We got our UCAD here, profit. We have our UK oil here, profit. Well, here's our second entry here. We'll see what happens here. And we can actually move our stop below this structure here. UCAD is still falling, and we know UCAD and oil are inverse. So as long as UCAD continues to fall, then we'll see oil bounce back and continue to rise. So I got my stop loss. I put it right here below this structure again. All right, it's 8:46. New 15-minute candle. This was the previous one. Gave me a crazy spread up there. Here's UK oil, USD CAD, CHF, pound. Put stops on these. Still trying to figure out why I was entered way up there. It really didn't make sense. Considering the spread is only 5 pips. So here I'm going to go ahead and enter another USD. I'm going to put my stop right here. Notice how this right here is the high of the day. Put that close to the high of the day. Pound USD, USD CHF, USD CAD, UK oil. That's some binary options in on USD CAD. CAD to move. Looking for pound to spike. Looking for USD CHF and USD JPY both to fall. Let's go here and look at the 15-minute chart. Okay, I'm above the high here. Let's pull out our Fibonacci. Swing low, high, right here. All right, TP achieved. Take that down. Ooh, I want to use that. And now let's go from here to here. And we'll take it at least to right here. Time USD. Tiptoeing with us. USD CHF trying to break out. UCAD still in non-profit, and oil breaking out for us. This is actually a weak, very weak NFP. And that is actually probably due to social distance. Now that I'm thinking about it, Wall Street floor ain't open. Now that we think about it, this NFP is actually pretty slow. That doesn't mean it's not going to go in our favor because price action is still showing us that we're still good to go. But what I'm saying is the action is limited because Wall Street floor is not open. Them folks can't be running around on that floor like that right now. You gotta stay 6 feet apart. Or are they still out there running around? But that's the only conclusion that I can think of why this NFP is so weak. Either that or there's some news announcements. Let's look and see if there's any more news on the economic calendar other than these horrible payroll numbers. All right, pound USD is turning up. USD CHF is failing to break through that area. Let's look at the 1 minute chart. It's failing to break through. Mind you, we got 7 minutes left in this hour. This USD JPY is also failing to break this trend line that I just drew here on the 1 minute chart. You guys can see that there. UCAD is steadily falling into profit, and oil is still in profit. It hasn't really made too big of a move, but it's still in profit. And that's everything. Everything's good money. We got a new hour candle in 5 minutes. So let's look at what price action looks like on some of these 5 minute charts. So notice how this price action looks exactly like this price action, it's just upside down. This is the pound USD, pound USD. This is the USD JPY. Let me move that so you can see it. USD JPY, pound USD. It's the same move on the 1 minute chart, except it's flipped. See it? just took a few more binary options trades to ensure take home at least second or third place. So you see, after that hour close, we're beginning to head up. So I'm actually debating on dropping another one there, but I'm actually just gonna let what I have ride, keep my stop in place. Nothing on USD CHF. Here is my USD JPY. Let's see what she do. UCAD, oil,